This is great title credentials when you can rotate and still build goal difference for a prolonged title challenge. Do you agree with that, Nath? In terms of today, for me, I said it in the video earlier. I'll paraphrase what I said, but I feel like Arsenal are title charge ready. I do believe you are building up a foundation for that title race.
Yes, well, I do think to an extent. I'm still trying to keep grounded. I don't want to get too excited. I need to see more of a sample size because the performances haven't been what I'd have expected, and there's still things that need to click. But in terms of rotations and bringing in players, I mean, I've always said I've never really been a big fan of Eddie. But if there is a game in which you want him to play, these are the games where he does shine against the lesser teams in the league. It's the games where we struggle with Eddie have always been against top opposition. So when you're playing against the lesser sides, you must be able to rotate. You must if you want to be a top team, you must be able to drop 2, 3, 4 players and be able to still perform at a level and still get 3 points, because that's what the best Man United teams of the past and Arsenal teams and City teams do. So it's no different here. So that's promising in that regards. But I'm still keeping grounded in regards to the title charge until more games have been played.
Do you agree with that, Bram?
Yeah, I think, like I say, like he said, it's too much of a small sample size. It's only 9, 10 games. There's still a long way to go in the season. There's still a lot of football to be played, and I mean, I'm not going to sit here and start getting all excited because we're picking up points and that, even though we're performing not that great. Because I'm not a Spurs fan, I don't think I've won the league in the space of 9 games. So it is what it is, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Do you know what? I understand where you're both coming from. I suppose, again, I maybe because I'm not emotional about it, and it doesn't matter to me whether you challenge for the title or not. Maybe it's an easier thing for me to look at. But my view is, if I look at what you did last year, the last 6 months of the previous season, coupled with what we've seen so far this year, I just look at that body of work, and I it's almost like I'm not looking at this season in isolation. Of course, catastrophe could strike, and you lose Rice, you lose Saka, you lose Saliba for the season, and then my mind would change, because that's such a significant damage to your squad that the opinions about what it will deliver will change. The same as if Haaland and Rodri and Ederson were now going to miss the entire season. Suddenly, some people may not fancy them to win the league. So it's the same difference. But I look at the body of work over the almost 2-year period now and think to myself, I'm not just looking at this season in isolation. I know how much better you can play, because for over 2 seasons now, you've done it on a number of occasions. I believe you're becoming a stronger side. Your younger players are getting older. And the fact that you've started the season off in a similar fashion to last year, in terms of results, you're in the next round of the League Cup. You've won 2 games in the Champions League, including a tough away game at Sevilla. I just look at you as being a better team this year. You haven't been as beautiful to watch. You haven't been as exhilarating, but I believe that's coming later. I believe the way you've started, there's an irony to this, is I believe it's another thing that Arteta's learned from Pep. You don't need to start your team off in the beginning of the season running around a million miles an hour, burning themselves out, because it's a marathon and not a sprint. So I get where you're both coming from. I suppose I'm looking at it from, it's like with City. We all know City are in the title race now. Why? Based on what we know about them. Does that make sense? And I just think you guys, they're still my favourites to win it, but I think Arsenal will be there or thereabouts this year. I really do.
You know what it is, Terry? I think if we'd had maybe another title charge before this, then it'd be like a Liverpool, for instance. It would be a lot easier for me to sit here and be like, we're in a title challenge, like we can do it. However, because we've only done it once, and I've seen, Liverpool almost go to win the title and then fall off, considerably the next year. So I'm just trying to keep grounded in terms of expectations. I need the team to prove that last season that they can match or even better what they've done last season before I start expecting it, because it hasn't been done. We haven't reached that level consistently over a prolonged period of time.
I agree. I mean, this is meant to be a dig at me. It says, you said that last year, Terry. Yeah, I said Arsenal would become title challengers last year.
And we were.
They did. I got my over in the end. Come January, when I said I think they might win the league now, I ended up getting that wrong.
But Terry.
At the end of the day, like, this Arsenal team are good, and I think they're good. And there are people out there saying I've got too much passion for them. It isn't about having passion for Arsenal. It's about having conviction in my opinions. And I'm as passionate about my opinions of Arsenal as I am about my opinions on Liverpool or Spurs or any opinion I have in this world. It's because it's something I believe in and it's important.
Man like Mystic Terry.
Imagine me sitting here hosting a show saying, yeah, I think Arsenal do really well. Yeah, Tottenham playing great, aren't they? Oh, City, best team in the world. If I allowed my true fan emotions to dictate how I behave professionally, that's how I would be. But I can't. Host of a show. Got to put a bit of enthusiasm and oomph into it. Maybe that's why, you know, I'm not too sure about you, MJ, but maybe that's why you ain't a success in your life. Maybe you're too morbid. Maybe you let your feelings and emotions dictate how you behave. That's just crazy. It's crazy. It says here, when other teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, United, Spurs win, he says, good win. Go and watch my reaction to Man United wins. And if you try and compare them to the way I react to an Arsenal win, you're looking silly. Look how I've not celebrated, but praised Liverpool in the past. And I played a clip on a previous show of me calling them the best team in the world. Chelsea, when they were doing very, very well, the same thing. And I've been praising Spurs of late. Really praising Spurs, telling people not to have a go at them for celebrating. So, MJ, you are so wrong. It's unbelievable, my friend. You've done yourself. I do hope that your girlfriend's not watching because she'll be leaving. She'll be leaving you. She'll be like, oh, look what you've done, I'll be your name probably MJ anyway. But anyway, we move. Buy my striker Ivan Toney to Arsenal. That could be a game changer. Jimmy here Jim as a Spurs fan says, as a Spurs fan, I really wanted Arsenal to lose, but it was a decisive, I think he means win. Sorry, deserved win. Meanwhile, Chelsea and Poch are trying to cut steak with a butter knife. Clowns. Yeah, what a difference a week makes between the two teams, really. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You know what was interesting, Terry? I've been watching a few of your shows and I've been seeing a lot of the Chelsea people talking about midfields being better and all this kind of talk. And then a week later, are we now going to say Brentford's midfield is better because they've won or because they've had a better game? And I just think like people need to just kind of slow down because you know, you get too excited too quickly and you start talking a lot of shit. And it's like, well, you haven't done anything yet. You drew essentially 2-2 with Arsenal and it was a good performance by itself, but actually do something before, you know, putting your midfield up on some, you know, pedestal of being, you know, this brilliant thing because you've dropped points. You've lost to Brentford. I think this is the third time that you've lost to Brentford in a row.
Bro, I want to say this. I want to defend Chelsea fans a little bit on this, though. I get where you're coming from as a gooner, 100%. Where I'm going to defend them is they were let down by their team today because they played well enough to win the game and the players didn't score. So all that, this is what happens. Your team can let you down. All that about. That's why I've seen over the years of doing this. So certain people come out and maybe their club gets a new manager and they go out on the offensive and they attack everybody else's manager saying, my manager this. And then that manager flops and they're the first ones to turn. And these Chelsea fans that came out all week just for their team to mess up, I do feel a bit sorry for them, really. Debbie here says, I hope your team wins, but it's unlikely. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that, my lovely. If Tommy is not injured, he is immaculate. He has been recently, there's no doubt. Eddie's third goal was mustard. I love that expression, mustard. Has Sav stopped crying yet? Sav weren't crying. He just got heated. Heated debate. It's all good fun. Hat trick, but fans will forget Eddie's 5 goals in 30 appearances. Do you know what I would say, Tito? No one on this stream has. I think everybody's been very consistent with saying, well done, so happy, what a performance, but do more. And I think that's fair. Big up Terry and my Gunners panel is from Pete, top man Pete. And Sheffield has no value or meaning. It's a worthless result. You might as well have not done it. You might as well not be happy. Oh, here's Kate. What's Kate saying? Kate says, concerning for me, Arsenal comfortably out 5 past Sheffield United, and we just scraped a win. I think you're an Arsenal fan, Kate. I think you're being an Arsenal fan there. Go down the road. Go down the road to the Emirates.
Stop being so negative, Kate. Stop it.
Hope that you're good. Listen, I want to.